It's review time, baby. So after many indecisive years of sitting on my butt and twiddling my thumbs, I've decided to finally make some content. Give me a round of applause. Game of Thrones Season 82. Game of Thrones is one of, if not one of the largest shows on the planet. Oh, wow. It's basically HBO's MCU. Like, if you were to compare it to something, it would be the end game of television. It would be the pinnacle of build-up. It would be the climax to the boom boom. And in my honest opinion, it's a little bit of a disappointment.
Why does your opinion even matter? You're irrelevant.
Shut up. Look, this video is a simple expression of how I feel the season went. I'm just going to provide a little bit of insight on how I feel the 8th season closed and my perspective on it. So before I continue, if you haven't watched the whole season yet, or if you haven't even heard of Game of Thrones and never watched it, I recommend you click off the video because there are huge spoilers ahead. So I'm gonna give you a second to leave. I bet. Where do I begin? This season is booty. It's not the good kind of booty, it's the sad, depressed kind of booty. A lot of expectations were set, and a lot of those same expectations were not met at all. I'm not saying that this season didn't have really great moments. In fact, it had a lot, but there were really small things that kind of killed it for me, and I'm gonna shed a little bit of light on those moments that I just spoke about. Ollie! My dog keeps making noise. Please stop. Hey! Now, by the closing of the final episode, I was feeling a little bit empty. In fact, my first words after the episode finished were, "What? What the f-?" Look, I understand that the characters get their happy ending and their stories get closure, specifically for the Starks, but it was the build-up to their ending, specifically Jon's. Arya's and Sansa's are fine. Jon's a little puss boy. You know, a lot of disappointment followed because of that. I'm just gonna bring up some certain points to start it off. So, first off, I'm gonna bring up Jon Snow. Now, this man is the GOAT. He's literally the chosen one, the guy that is meant to be the ruler of the Seven Kingdoms, the protector of the realm, the one that sits on the Iron Throne. But this guy doesn't want the title. Why doesn't he want the title? I will give a fair explanation. My boy Jon was blinded by Le Puss, and I completely understand because she's pretty hot. My main expectation of Jon was for him to take a stand and live up to his potential and live up to his name, because he is such a huge character in the series with a lot on his shoulders. He's actually born to be the ruler of the Seven Kingdoms. So I was left a little confused when the writers swerved and altered his destiny. Look, I understand that Jon never wanted his role to begin with. I understand that he only wanted to be Jon Snow. He did not want to be the ruler of the Seven Kingdoms. But the fact that he was pulled all the way back to the Night's Watch, it wasn't the fact that he was taken to the Night's Watch, it was how he got there that annoyed me. I was kind of hoping for him to go there voluntarily. I wasn't really happy with the fact that he was forced to go back there. It made me feel like his ending wasn't really his happy ending. It was an ending thrown at him and he was just forced to deal with it. I don't know. I really wanted him on the throne. The writers made Jon too passive to the point where he never stood his ground. Whenever Daenerys made a decision, my boy would just be like,
"You are my queen. You are my queen. She is our queen. You will always be my queen."
By the time he made the right decision, it was too late. He'd already let things go too far to the point where he was given a sentence, ultimately bring him back to where he belonged, which was good. But then it was just, I didn't feel satisfied at the end, man. I was like, I want more. You know, that's what makes a good show. You want more. And it makes you sad that it's ended, but it's like, it wasn't a good kind of I want more. It was a pissed off I want more. It was like, that's it? Really? I just wish they made Jon stand his ground more. And this brings me to my next point. 7 seasons of build-up. 7 seasons of people saying,
"Winter is coming."
7 seasons of impending doom. The army of the dead, led by one dude, the Night King. Correct me if I'm wrong, but did we not all think that season 8 was going to be about the apocalypse? The endless winter that would consume the whole of the Seven Kingdoms, and the united armies would come together and fight against the army of the dead, and many main characters would die, and you would be like, oh my gosh, no, did that just happen? Wow! And then eventually the Night King would be defeated by Jon after a long and gruesome battle between the two that went on and on with the clashing of swords and the ting-ting. You know, I was expecting this big build-up, this huge fight to take up majority of the season. Boy, was I wrong. We got 30 minutes. 30 minutes of complete darkness. You know, I bet it was a really, really good fight. It's just, I couldn't see any of it. Quick moment of silence for the people that died in the battle real quick. Now, I think the most interesting part of the whole battle was when Peerless Greyjoy came through, showing off his Byakugan skills, knocking down a bunch of people, fighting until the end, until eventually he gave his life for Bran. You know, through this, he gained some sort of moral high ground and he redeemed himself from his past actions from previous seasons, and it was a good moment for him. Quick moment of silence for Theon. There was some real intensity building up when the Night King started doing his old slow walk towards Bran in the wheelchair, and then Arya came up from behind with a knife going, not gonna lie, Arya was pretty slick with the old sleight of hand, with the old switcheroo, stab the guy in the stomach-aroo, you know, defeat the purpose of the 7 seasons of build-up so easily-aroo, all of that build-up for nothing-aroo. The walker that Jon fought over the wall put up more of a fight than the Night King did. All the Night King did was ride his dragon for a little bit, raise some dead to flex on Jon.
Oh God! Oh man! Oh God! Oh man!
And then do a slow walk to Crypt Man Bran before proceeding to get stabbed in the stomach by a little girl. I understand that this little girl has insane swordsmanship skills and is a trained assassin, but that does not take away from the point that there should have been a gruesome battle, specifically between Jon and the Night King. I don't mind if Arya jumped in. Arya could have done some mad stuff, but it's just, it annoyed me because the 7 seasons of build-up was killed so quickly. With 3rd episode in, and the Night King's dead, right? This is a 6-episode series. Halfway through, he's dead, and the other half is all about regaining the throne. But then it's like, what point is the throne if we have this huge battle that would cause the end of civilization? For them to end that threat so quickly and submit it, I mean, I understand a lot of people died, but it's like, he died too easily, and it made him look like a little bitch boy. Jon should have been the one to finish him off. I was a little annoyed that they used Arya to kill the Night King for a little bit of fan service with a little sneaky stab in his stomach. It defeated the purpose of Jon's story arc, because Jon had incentive to kill this dude. Overall, I just think there was a wasted opportunity for a really cool battle, and I believe we as an audience were waiting for Jon and the Night King to really just pop off against each other and go all in. But I'm gonna quickly give props to Arya for flexing her skills on the battlefield and really showing what she can do. Quick moment of silence for those dudes that she wrecked. Next point.
Cersei died in the rubble? Where's the brutal death?
There was none, because screw giving the fans what they want. Cersei's death was a little bit sad, with her and Jaime embracing each other as the rubble came down upon them, and you know, they were really having an intimate moment there, and that part was sad, and it was good writing on the writer's part to make us feel empathetic for a character that we hate so much. I really hated her. Quick props to Daenerys' logic in that scene though. I want to kill Cersei, so instead of burning her directly, I'm gonna burn the whole city and all of the people and not directly attack Cersei. Good one. But you know, at least from the death of Cersei and Jaime, we were able to get a little tearjerker moment from Tyrion. Quick moment of silence for Cersei and Jaime. Next point. Headlines. Daenerys takes an evil turn. King's Landing reduced to ash. This wasn't even a surprise. During the whole show, there were quite a few hints that were hinting towards Daenerys eventually becoming a tyrant.
Oh, Daenerys was such a good character. There were no foreshadowing at all to show that she was eventually gonna become evil.
Shut up. Visually, Daenerys reducing the whole of King's Landing to ash was just stunning. Her development as a character makes plenty of sense. There shouldn't be any reason for people to be saying that her character took the wrong turn. People were constantly referring to her father, saying that he was the Mad King and everything.
Your father burned my grandfather alive. He burned my uncle alive. He would have burned the 7 kingdoms.
My father was an evil man. I ask you not to judge a daughter by the sins of her father.
The damage is not too bad. As long as the foundations are still strong, we can rebuild this place. It will become a haven for all peoples. Now those foundations are gone, sorry.
Good job. Since she was made out to be such a big threat by the end of the final season, I was hoping for her death to be somewhat big. But again, we got a sneaky little stab in the stomach by Sean. Wait, what? Redo. But again, we got a sneaky little stab in the stomach by why is that a tongue twister? Oh my god. But again, we got a sneaky little stab in the stomach by Jon. Nailed it. You know, I'm starting to see a little bit of a trend here. One cool thing that came from Daenerys' death was how the dragon pulled through and he burns the Iron Throne, and that was pretty cool to see. The destruction of the throne completely defeats the purpose of the whole show, and it helps close the show. Also, feels bad for Drogon. His mama died to a sneaky little stab in her stomach. Quick moment of silence for Daenerys. Next and final point, baby. Crip Man Bran is now the ruler of the Seven Kingdoms and the protector of the realm. Nani? My boy Jon deserves the throne. I guess Bran's eventual taking of the throne was, you know, expected. Aside from Jon, he should be the main ruler. You literally cannot lie to him. And as Tyrion said, you know, his story is pretty insane. The dude's pretty OP. He can control animals, he can control people. And when I think about it, he could have done a lot in the battle. You know, I'm happy with the way that Bran's story ended. Very nice. Also, good choice from Tyrion to appoint Bran as the new ruler of the Seven Kingdoms. Because think about it. The throne got destroyed. Why not appoint a ruler who was always sitting on a throne? Huh?
And modern problems require modern solutions.
Overall, if I had to give the season a rating, I would give it a broken wheel out of 10. Look, by far, this is not the best season in the whole series. Season 7 was pretty damn good. It was the Infinity War, and this season was meant to be the endgame. It just didn't quite live up to its expectations. I'm alright with it. I'm not the happiest about it, but you know, what can we do? We can't have it redone. That's not how television works. But I'm gonna just say, I only really talked about the things that I wanted to talk about. The things that I brought up were the main points that I thought were just the big moments in the show. Like, I understand there were character deaths that I missed out on, but those characters I did not really care about, so. If you want to subscribe, click the button. If you want to like the video, click the button. Anyways, that's it from me. Later.